Hello, everyone. Welcome. Good afternoon once again to yet another match day, and it is a very important match day for what is going to happen in Group Two. A big encounter which will be the most watched match in this World Cup, most probably. And yes, I'm talking about none other than Pakistan versus Scotland. Jokes aside, we all know which match we are talking about: New Zealand and Afghanistan. And it's not just about Afghanistan. ये जो blue पहने हैं, we are all here supporting Afghanistan, and for obvious reasons. So we all know why Afghanistan needs to win today. I think Imanshu, Aditya, you guys will know it the best as well as that. So let's just start off by just looking कि मतलब हम लोग कहाँ थे और कहाँ आए. So starting with you, Aditya. After when we lost to New Zealand on last Sunday, did you honestly expect that the India will be having a chance at till this moment? Like we all said that India will be knocked out, but look at how things have changed, and now still we are in with the hope that as Afghanistan may cause an upset, and then India can qualify for the semi-final. But did you have any kind of hope after that New Zealand game?
Well, after the New Zealand game, we all were disappointed. That goes without saying. But yes, I had an I had a thing that yes, we will win all the three games. But I didn't expect Scotland to be like we to be that dominant as we were. Like I expected us to be dominant, but I think the what do you say the pressure got relieved from us, and we unleashed our best. And I think yeah, I think still we can. I think as Himanshu was talking before, I think we were having a chat before. He said that having no hope is the best thing, because if then we qualify, then the joy which we'll have, it will be great. But the heartbreaks from 2019, New Zealand have been if inflicting on us. They have a chance to put everything to bed, and put the nail on the coffin with the shortest format. So yeah, I hope that Rashid and Co can do something miraculous. Take nothing away from Afghanistan. Like if Afghanistan win more than 53 runs, even they have a chance to qualify. But realistically speaking, that won't happen. And I think Afghanistan will have to be. This will be nothing short of a miracle if Afghanistan pull this one off. I think this will be a major upset if Afghanistan can pull this one off.
Well, let me tell you, Aditya, we all thrive on miracles in this sport. I mean, IPL हम लोग देखते आ रहे हैं, हम लोग ने कितने सारे ऐसे miracle देखे होते हुए. So we Indian fans are always hopeful, even if you give us 1% chance. But coming to you, Himanshu, I mean, look at this. मतलब अभी जैसे आदित्य ने बोला कि if they win by 53 odd runs, even they have a chance to qualify. So आज अफगानिस्तान का जो population है, it will be 134 crores people supporting that team. And well, and exactly 12 hours later फिर से 4 crore पे आ जाएंगे. Like look at how things are transpiring. So what about you, Himanshu? How are you feeling ahead of this match? Do you feel मतलब ऐसे कुछ होने वाला है from Afghanistan's point of view, or you feel कि better कि hopefully ना रहे?
There is a chance, I would say that there is, of course, a chance because Afghanistan, to be politically correct, Afghanistan wouldn't be wanting to go home the way they have been treated. So that's one feeling. So they would like to prolong their stay, but it in the end it will also help the Indian nation as well because they get a chance as well. But since the New Zealand defeat, I have just started being like, no, there is no chance, there is no hope, there is nothing going to happen. New Zealand is already qualified, there is no chance. So even if from that, if we qualify, that's a great joy. But if we don't qualify, we knew, okay, I knew already New Zealand has qualified. So it's a hard learned thing which I have gone through. So every time before a make match, I say, okay, we have lost it. I do reverse jinx to that. So let's hope there is another miracle like this.
Well, yes, and speaking about New Zealand and heartbreaks, मतलब 2019 से लेके अब तक हमेशा हमें नॉकआउट करते आ रहे हैं. And if New Zealand wins this, this will be the third time in a row that Kane Williamson's army will be knocking India out of an ICC event. 2019 semi-final, 2021 World Test Championship final, और अभी ये T20 World Cup. So hopefully that doesn't happen. क्रिकेट दा टशन कह रहे हैं कि डिड यू गेट योर न्यूजीलैंड जर्सी. सोल्शर के पास रहेगा. आई थिंक व्हाई वुड आई गेट न्यूजीलैंड जर्सी? आई डोंट नो व्हाई. आई थिंक इफ यू अगर जिंक्स के बारे में सोच रहे हैं देन सॉरी. मतलब मुझे आज के मैच में जिंक्स नहीं देखना. आई एम फुल्ली बैकिंग माय अफगानी बॉयज. My name for today is Sanchit Ur Rahman and not Sanchit Desai. I'm fully backing the boys in blue to do the job. Abdullah Amir, yes, pre-match शो आज जल्दी है because दिवाली के वेकेशन थे, so सब लोग अवेलेबिलिटी का कंसर्न, इसलिए we have kept the timing 12 p.m. IST to 1 p.m. IST. But आज का मैच ही ऐसा है कि मतलब दिन में ही बात करें तो और अच्छा है. New Zealand will also have 24 million more supporters. Yes, Abdullah is a Pakistani fan, so obviously for obvious reason they'll be supporting New Zealand, of course. But let's see आज क्या होता है. मतलब बहुत ही ऐसे एक टीम की मैच नहीं रहेगी. मतलब चार different teams will be playing against each other. So it's really good. Lots of Afghanistan supporters in the comment section. Sunny Thakur, Afghanistan कह रहे हैं. There is a saying, end on a good note. So Aditya, coming to you, end on a good note. So this quote can be used for many teams in the tournament. I mean, obviously, yesterday we saw the end of an amazing career for Dwayne Brown and even possibly Chris Gale for that matter. So end on a good note. If you talk about it from an Indian point of view, so let's just keep today's match aside. Tomorrow may be the last time that we may see some of the players in that T20 lineup. I wouldn't say कि कौन नहीं रहेगा, because ऐसे chances है कि we might go for a complete revamp for the next World Cup. So what do you make of this Indian team squad from the last 2 or 3 years in the T20 World Cup? T20 format, sorry.
I think I'd like to disagree with your view that there will be a complete revamp. I don't think there will be a knee jerk reaction. I know there will be some changes, and right from the leadership there will be changes, but I don't think there will be a huge a lot of changes with respect to the the current core of the Indian team. Because yes, Virat Kohli will not be donning the captain's hat, but he will be sure in the the all the important decisions he will be making. So let's not make this about India, let's talk about Afghanistan. I don't like talking like yeah, I was thinking like if Afghanistan win today, just imagine the our 1983 World Cup. So will that be equivalent? I'm not pulling a this thing, but Afghan, what this would mean for the country, and how much they would, even if they don't qualify, them being in this position, like the likes of West Indies, Bangladesh, who are it is said that they are more cricket competent than Afghanistan. It was said, but Afghanistan have reached such a stage where, irrespective of their current situation back home, they have done this. So I am sorry that I have deviated from the question of India being. I don't want this match to be so only focused on India and take away the things which Afghanistan has done. So yeah, India will go for. I think they will have a bit of changes, but nothing like say wholesale में कुछ नहीं होगा. I think it will be in bits and pieces, as Manjrekar likes to call it.
Perfectly put up by Aditya. It's not just about India. Let's not forget Afghanistan is also playing for their pride and even playing for their qualification. If things do go their way, if they win big, they may even have a chance to qualify ahead of New Zealand and India, and that could be something as well. So really great. Happy with that answer. Before we move on to Himanshu, just look at the comment section कि मतलब अपने नाम ही बदल दिए. सात्विक कह रहे आज से उसका नाम सात्विक मोहम्मदी शहजाद नाम रहेगा. Abdullah is saying Abdullah Granny Grandom is his name for today because he's supporting New Zealand. Because look at the creativity that we have in this cricket fraternity. And Sachit is saying, guys, we need a watch along for the New Zealand Afghanistan match too. वो भी इंडिया का ही मैच है. So Sachit, please say this to our heads, Kaustup and Ronak. I would love to be on the watch along in today's match. अगर हो पाता तो मैं अफगानिस्तान की जर्सी डाल के आ जाता वो watch along के लिए. That would be something as well. Abdullah is saying, what if New Zealand wins and रात को Scotland also wins? Then it will be England versus Pakistan, New Zealand versus Australia. What do you say on that? And what about the likely prediction between Australia and Pakistan semi-final? So Himanshu, you wish to answer this? I mean, obviously हम लोग ये बात तो सोच ही नहीं रहे कि Scotland may also have a chance to defeat Pakistan. Though it seems unlikely, but you never know. It is a game of cricket. Anything can happen. So what are your thoughts on this? And what do you make of the potential semi-final that we have right now, Australia versus Pakistan?
So it would be a cracking game. I would give upper hand to Pakistan because Australia, even though they have won 4 matches, not all of them have not been firing on all cylinders, not been consistent. There are some worrying problems in Australian team. Pakistan, on the hand, have been going all guns blazing. Anyone comes is performing well, bowling well, even fielding well. That was the joke we used to have. Pakistan fielding nahi karte. Now they are fielding well as well. So this is means there is determination from Pakistan to prove the world wrong, and they are doing it well. So if Pakistan versus Australia happens, I would give 65 to 70% chance for Pakistan to win the game. And for the other part, that if New Zealand wins and Scotland wins, I don't think Scotland will win. I have been trying to support Scotland and Namibia for so long, and I have always been disappointed a lot because none of these teams can bat for long. They do show fight in the end or somewhere, but it's just coming from one or two players. Not all of them have been putting up their foot. So that's a bit. I don't see Scotland winning, but New Zealand winning is a high chance as well.
Yes, we all tend to forget कि आज दो match है, not just one match, but all the attention will be on the afternoon game. But people, let's not forget Pakistan versus Scotland is also a pretty interesting game. And if what Abdullah said in the comments, if that happens, that would be the biggest surprise of this T20 World Cup because Pakistan is expected to finish at the top, and if they finish it at the second, playing a semi-final against England could be a really tricky one because I fancy their chances more against Australia more than England, at least in the semi-finals. In the final,
Yes.
anything can happen on the big day, but I think that would be interesting. सचित कह रहे हैं कि आमिर भाई इंडिया को क्वालिफाई तो करने दे, why do you want us to get knocked out so bad? And to which he replies, because if you get qualified we cannot win. I mean, this just sums it up, the rivalry between India and Pakistan. I mean, yes, for obvious reason they don't want us to face India again because 2017 Champions Trophy ऐसे ही हुआ था, Pakistan lost in the group stage and then India lost in the final, so that has the possibility. And some might say that agar if things go our way, India's way, India may even go on to win the entire thing if they qualify from here, because a wounded lion is always a very dangerous animal to comprehend. Maybe that could be the case. But once again, back to the game in hand, the afternoon match. So Aditya, coming to you, you can obviously see the stat at the bottom of your screen. Afghanistan have won 8 out of their 9 matches in the UAE when they batted first since 2016 T20 World Cup. So afternoon game, obviously no chances of due to take part. So for them to have a chance to win this game, do you think batting first should be the likely option if they win the toss?
Yeah, yeah, batting first for sure for Afghanistan. I think their power play. I think before this World Cup started, for all teams, we had said that power play will be the main, the main arena where you have to score a lot because there is no, the perks of those 180, 190s. We have not seen a lot in this tournament, apart from barring from a couple of games where teams have gone crazy. But apart from that, there has been nothing. And I think Mohammad Shehzad and Naib, who are opening for Afghanistan, I think they will need to go all guns blazing. I was seeing a stat that they have, almost 45 to 55 runs. They in that range they have scored. Even though they lose wickets, they are not stopping their run flow. So I think that will be crucial. And think if Mujibur Rahman, I think if Ashwin's physio has reached Mujibur Rahman, I think if he's fit, then I think even though this Abu Dhabi wicket will be a good batting wicket, I think Mujibur Rahman and Rashid Khan can inflict some wounds on New Zealand because Kane Williamson also hasn't been in his best form. So I think if they can enter, I'm saying if we can, that Afghanistan, I'm just it has crept inside me that it is in India playing just in the colors of Afghanistan. So I'm saying that if they can inflict some, early wickets, get Conway and Guptill early, I think, these are all hypothetical situations. But if they can do that, I think Rashid and Mujib have that in them. But for that, we need to check if Mujibur Rahman is fit
Exactly.
to
I
go
was
in
just
the
gonna
game.
ask that question about the curious case of Mujibul Rahman. I think that could be the deciding factor in this game because we have obviously seen New Zealand struggle against quality spin bowling. Like even in the last game against Namibia, they kind of struggled for a while till that 17th over. Till 17th over, Namibia were in the game in that match, but from there on, New Zealand just hammered the in the death overs. So maybe that could be the battle. 12 potential good overs of spin bowling could be the game for Afghanistan if we speak. So the fitness of Mujibul Rahman would be very, very crucial. Abdullah Amir is saying Pura India is supporting Afghanistan without even thinking that if Afghanistan wins with a big margin, India can get eliminated. Yes, there is a possibility, but let's not forget India is playing Namibia tomorrow as well. So if Afghanistan win, no matter the result, at least India will know what is to be done in
Yes.
tomorrow's game. They will have a perfect equation in hand, and they can plan about their playing 11 as well. We have seen time and again teams qualifying through this kind of condition as well. If that happens, I don't see Afghanistan winning by more than 50 runs, especially in such conditions in the UAE. So if Afghanistan wins, maybe it would be a close encounter. So that could be the realistic result. But if Afghanistan wins by a big margin, then that would be really something as well. So Himanshu, coming to you, obviously Aditya spoke about going big in the power play, and just earlier we had a little stat that was displayed in front of us. So Afghanistan in the first 6 overs in this World Cup so far, 55, 49, 50, 47. So they only believe in one mantra, that is to go big in the power play. And even though they kept on losing wickets, they didn't stop. Lots of teams, agar dekha jaye to wicket ke baad they kind of calm down. But that is the beauty of this Afghanistan side. They play fearless brand of cricket. Even against India in the lower order, you saw Mohammad Nabi hitting a few in down the order. So does this stat give you a little bit of confidence in Afghanistan if they bat first? If they go hard against the likes of Trent Bolt and Saudi, maybe they can just take the game away from the Kiwis right from ball one. What do you make of this?
Mm, Mohammad Shehzad and Hazmatullah Zazaevich do open for Afghanistan. They means Afghanistan has a set template of playing. Whatever happens, they will stick to their template, their mantra, and will go by that. And it has worked. They have won the matches. They are going up. They are even ranked higher than West Indies and Sri Lanka, right? So it is not like that their mantra is not working. It is working very well, and all of the players have confidence in that mantra. They believe in that mantra, so it's good. And of course, and Hazmatullah Zazai being a left-handed opener is a big advantage to counter the Trent Bolt effect, because they he not only that, he has also been attacking the bowlers apart from Mohammad Shehzad. We know that Mohammad Shehzad goes for big shots from the start, but even Hazmatullah Zazai. So the attack has been from both the ends, which has worked in Afghanistan's benefit very well. And even if they lose wicket, okay, we know what we are doing. This is it. We will attack, 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 attack. Because T20, 20 overs. If you don't attack now, when will you?
Exactly, yes, perfectly summed up. And we spoke a bit about Afghanistan. Let us also not talk about New Zealand here. Let's not forget that even New Zealand are here to qualify for the semi-finals, and they very much look like the favorites. But Aditya, coming to you about New Zealand's spin bowling. So we spoke about Afghanistan here, 12 overs of potential good spin bowling. But even from New Zealand's 11, if you see the performances of Ish Sodhi and Mitchell Santner, that partnership in that middle overs phase, I think that these were the crucial overs from New Zealand's point of view in this World Cup so far. So, what do you make of this bowling attack that New Zealand has, and this consistency of spin bowling that they are providing in this World Cup so far? They have silently kept on performing consistently and kept on winning the games for New Zealand from an unwinnable position as well. So, how big of a threat would this partnership be of Santner and Sodhi for Afghanistan's sake, and how could they tackle them if they wish to have a good lead in the first innings?
Yeah, so we talked about Afghanistan in power play. So they will face Bolt and Saudi in the power play. In the middle overs, they will face Satner and Sodhi. So I think we talk about right hand, left hand batting combination. So here we have right hand, left hand bowling combination, which is equally effective from either end. If they can, if the what do you say, the pressure if they can create. And Sodhi had a minor injury scare also, the concussion scare, but he is, I think he's reasonably fine to play the game. So yes, I don't think I don't see both of them as a out and out wicket takers, but they are the ones for a team like Afghanistan stemming the flow of runs. They will get impatient and they will throw away their wicket. So this is a kind of a pattern you see with teams. Like Afghanistan, who don't have much experience, and this will be the biggest game of their lives. I think we are making this game too much out of, because I read a few of the interview pieces from Nabi and a few of the Afghanistan players. They don't seem to, at least externally, they are not showing the pressure which they are under. They are saying that we are not in a mood to do favors, but we are here to qualify and play for ourselves before anyone else. So yeah, Sodhi and Santner in the middle overs will be difficult. I don't see them as out and out wicket takers, but they will stem the flow of runs so that they can create the pressure. So they need that power play score. Again, I'm coming back to it. So that power play score will allow them to to rotate the strike if they can in the middle overs. So yeah.
Ex- Exactly, yes. And I think that it's fair on Afghanistan as well. I know that we are over relying on Afghanistan to do us a favor, but let's not forget Afghanistan will only have one motive in their mind, and that is to play for themselves, play for their country, and not to dwell too much on India's qualification, because obviously it's a World Cup and everyone wants to play for themselves. So even if things don't go our way, I would just like to request all the Indian fans that don't be too harsh on the Afghanistan players or the country. I know that we are here supporting, but just don't be too uh, toxic or abusive to them if let's say New Zealand goes on to win this match, because if we don't qualify it is because only of our performances and not because of what Afghanistan is going to do. So the reason why we are depending on a different team to help us qualify is because of what we did in the first two matches. So just a humble request, don't be too harsh on Afghanistan team and the fans as well for after if things go wrong for that way. Abdullah, yes, semi-final ke watch along honge. We will be doing all the semi-final as well as the final watch along. So do join us if that happens. I'm sure that we'll be there for the Pakistan game. We still don't know कि कौन सी टीम के सामने पाकिस्तान खेलेगी, so that is still uncertain. The only game Afghanistan lost while batting first was versus Pakistan in this T20 World Cup, which both backfired. So what do you say? So Imanshu, you wish to take this question about Afghanistan batting first?
So in that match, I do remember that Afghanistan were in the game till the 30th over. The last over that Asif Ali came and hammered Karim Jannal. That was the brilliance of that individual player that won Pakistan the match. Otherwise, everything was going way it should be. It was a close match. Plans were being executed well. Everything was going well from Afghanistan's point of view as well. So that lost while batting first is only a minor blip, and they won't think that much about it, because if they execute their plan, they have shown that they can even make Pakistan sweat for the victory.
Exactly, yes. So maybe that is the strength. I feel to answer Abdullah's question, I think batting first is their best chance, because you don't want to see this Afghanistan side chasing against New Zealand. I mean, obviously New Zealand do possess a threat even after the power play, as Aditya rightly said about the spin bowling duo, and they can choke any kind of a batting lineup. Even if it was a team like India or even Pakistan for that matter, in this condition, they could choke the batting order pretty easily. So the best chance that Afghanistan has in this match is to bat first, take the score to at least 150, 160, and then let the spin trio do their magic for any chance to happen. But let us now also talk a little bit about the second game in hand. I know that it's pretty insignificant as of now if you consider the context, but still, let's not forget Pakistan is playing against Scotland. And Himanshu, you already mentioned about Pakistan's fairy tale in this World Cup so far, winning 4 out of 4 matches, and they have a chance to go into the. They are the only unbeaten side, I think, in the World Cup, with England losing last night.
Yes.
So coming to you, Aditya, Pakistan versus Scotland. So it looks like a David versus Goliath kind of a situation on papers, but we have seen many things going differently in this game of cricket. So if Scotland is, let's say, if Scotland were to have a chance in this game, what could be the weakness that they could look to target this Pakistan team?
I think the only weakness Pakistan has shown is Hassan Ali, and other than that, they seem to be. I think surprisingly, they seem to be a well-oiled machine because nobody gave Pakistan a chance before this tournament. And I think opening with Babar Azam, I think moving Fakhar Zaman in the slightly below at number three, I think that has worked because Babar. I think Fakhar Zaman many times with the openers haven't fired. I didn't see except the what do you say the India game. They have been a little slow starting off. So the power hitting of Asif Ali, I think we have seen a lot of really great stories coming from Pakistan, like the players like Shaheen Afridi, Asif Ali, Harish Rauf. I think it has been a really, I think if you look at from a neutral point of view, they have come a long way in their cricketing journey. So if with the experience of Shoaib Malik, one of the greats if of Pakistan, if not world cricket, I think Mohammad Hafiz and Shoaib Malik, they have been doing what they have been, they have been holding the this thing together, the batting order together. So apart from these two, what do you say, apart from Hassan Ali, I don't see any uh, error in this current Pakistan load. I think Scotland will have to play their skins off to get a result out of this game. So yeah, it will be a big game for Scotland, because them playing against these big nations, I think they are I think once in a 4-year opportunity for them. So they will make the most of it, and gain as much experience as they can, because these associate nations need a lot of exposure to the international arena where the big guns play. So I think Scotland will have to think they'll have to look at their own pool of cricketers once they go back home, and after this gaining from this experience, they can come back next time a little bit stronger and compete a little bit stronger, which will help world cricket grow too. Yeah.
Exactly, perfectly put up there. I mean, we all love to see these associate nations performing in ICC events, and that is why we criticize ICC for that move in 2019 to make the World Cup 10 team rather than the 16 team that it usually is. So hopefully, these performances from these associate teams tempt ICC to keep the associate teams in the mix for a longer time. Abdullah is saying Philander in his Instagram story yesterday said that Hassalani problem is solved as he worked personally on him. So let's see how it does go. So yes, Hassan Ali is basically the only missing link from this Pakistan team that is not going in their favor. And if he comes good in this match, then I think it's safe to say that Pakistan will have ticked all the boxes before that semi-final clash in about just days time. Himanshu, you can obviously see the stat about Mohammad Rizwan being just 5 runs away from overtaking Chris Gale's record for most T20 runs in a calendar year. I mean, when you look at this record and if you look at the man Chris Gale is, and this actually is a big record to break. And we have seen Mohammad Rizwan rising from that New Zealand tour. Before that New Zealand tour, before he was asked to open the innings, his records were pretty mediocre for that matter. But once he was pushed to the opening slot, I mean, he just kept on performing really well. So, what do you make of this player, and mainly the partnership that he has with Babar Azam at the top of the order, and what it could mean for Pakistan going forward in all the formats for that matter?
It could possibly Mohammad Rizwan and Babar Azam could be the possibly next Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan that we had from 2013 to 2017, whenever that continued. It could possibly be that, and I would like to point out that Mohammad Rizwan in his previous innings struggled initially very much, but he stayed there, struggled it out, and in the end came with a beautiful finish when he was not out till the end, scored big, and that too shows the mental strength of that player. Because sometimes if it's not working, we try to go for the risky shots or try to do something, and he was like, no, I will stay, I know I can hit it, and he did that in the end. So that shows that when player is in form, right mindset, what he can do. And he is almost going to break Chris Gale's record today. I think in first over only, that if he takes the strike, that record is going to be broken. That is for sure. And that is an
Well,
incredible achievement to break Christopher Henry Gale's record. He is like universe boss. He is the T20 master. And if you are breaking his record, that speaks volume of your caliber.
exactly, yes, and he has already shown the promise of being a great player, Mohammad Rizwan, and really, I love watching him bat, especially that partnership with Babar Azam. It's been not, of course, not against India for that matter, but those two really go on strong, and I think their record in this format is pretty much amazing. And before the T20 World Cup, a lot was said that Pakistan is over reliant on Babar and Rizwan for that matter. So that seems to be not right, considering the performances that they are getting from the middle order and also Asif Ali down the order. So they do look like a complete side. Amog is saying, just a reminder to all the Indian fans, don't get too emotionally attached to this match. Let's sit back and enjoy the game. We have done everything in our power. Yes, perfectly said. I mean, हम लोग ने जो भी हम like yes, everyone wrote us off after that New Zealand game, and rightfully so, because हमारे हाथ में कुछ नहीं था. We did what we could with that NRR situation. We comprehensively beat both the teams after that. So हम लोग ने जो कर पाते थे हम लोग ने किया. Now whatever happens, it is not in our hand. And yes, we should be disappointed that we will be missing out on the semi-final spot, but we should not be too harsh on other teams for our mistakes. So we can
Yes.
just accept our faith and just enjoy the game, remaining games, and also the World Cup for that matter. So I really agree with what Amog has to say here. Before Namibia, it's time to get behind Nabi Mia and his team. Yes, yes, perfect, perfectly put there. Ankit is saying New Zealand giving heartbreaks to India is routine for Kiwi. Yes, we spoke about this. I mean, the less said about this is better. I hope कि मतलब आज के दिन नहीं, मतलब वो बोलते हैं ना कि the third time, मतलब third time lucky कोई नहीं रहता. So hopefully that happens and we see India giving the heartbreak to New Zealand for that matter. That would be a thing to watch out for. But coming back to the Scotland Pakistan game once again, Aditya. So obviously you can see the stat that is going in at the bottom of your screen. No other side has lost as many wickets against spin in Super 12s as Scotland. So that is a stat to ponder upon. So what do you make of this and Scotland against spin? What is your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think if you're talking about only this game, I think Pakistan has Shadab Khan and what do you say, Imad Wasim with that in their spin attack. Both of them being left-handed. I don't see them being like Isodi and Mitsandra as I talked about. I don't see them much as a wicket-taking threat for Scotland. But Scotland have much than them. The bowlers taking the wicket, they have lost the wicket themselves. So I think that for that this stat I don't see much substance in this stat because Scotland have overall been never showed up for any of the games which I followed off there. So I don't honestly feel that it is only the spin which has troubled them and not the other aspects of the game. Yes, spin can be one of them, but they have been outplayed on all parts. So I don't see this stat being, we can take this in isolation and analyze this stat. I think this would be just because Scotland have never been, they never looked their part apart from the qualifiers. I don't see anything. I didn't see them being dominant other than the first over which they played against the Bumrah over which the openers played. I didn't see anything much in the Scotland side. Yeah.
Exactly, yes. And speaking about positives for Scotland, George Munsey, the way how he played Ravichandran Ashwin, especially in the power play, I think that is one positive that they can take from that forgettable game against India. I mean, the way he countered the off spin of Ashwin. I mean, Ashwin is obviously a great bowler in the shorter format as well. So maybe that he could be the player to target the Pakistan spin duo that we all talk about matchups. So maybe a huge role will be up there for George Munsey at the top of the order if I think Imad Masim will be obviously bowling in the power play, so that battle could be very interesting. Munsi versus Imad Wasim. So let's see what happens. But coming back to the big one of the day, New Zealand versus Afghanistan, and we can already see in the comment section at the right of your screen. I mean, people are मतलब emotions अगर measure करने जाए तो Indian fans for the first time they are not even nervous and they are just completely with going with the flow of the emotions. So they don't feel nervous. They are just enjoying the moment, supporting Afghanistan. Some are worried. Some are actually ऐसे ही मतलब hopes ही नहीं रखे like Himanshu for that matter. But Ankit is saying हंसते हंसते सामने वाले को रुलाना कोई विलियमसन से सीखे. Yes, New Zealand known for being the nice guys. So Himanshu, what honestly बता दे मतलब shouldn't we actually start let's say मतलब being worried more about New Zealand rather than just calling them the nice guys because इतने बार हमें इन्होंने heart break दिया है and we still call them the nice guys. Like what is this relation? What do you think about this?
Nothing, just New Zealand has outperformed us. That's the simple thing. To put it very bluntly, New Zealand in World Cup outperformed us. If before that in 2014 World Cup, 2016 World Cup, they had defeated us. World Test Championship. So whenever we it's our fault. We take them lightly. We say smiling guys, nice guys, everything. They just come and kill us, kill the game off and go away. and then we have to do pray for Rashid Khan to take 5 wickets in a match. Now we have to pray for Mohammad Nabi performs some miracle. We have to see that Hazmatullah Zazai scores 100. So it's just that New Zealand plays better when it matters. Against us, other times India has played exceptional cricket, but just against in India versus New Zealand, we try to take them lightly and it goes astray. Simple.
Perfect, perfectly put. I know that many Indian fans would not like your answer, but it is facts. I don't know कि क्या है मतलब mental block है playing against New Zealand or something like that, but we just don't seem to turn up against this Kiwi side. So maybe it's just because we think of them as the nice guys and not doing extra. Maybe that could be the reason. But yes, jokes aside, Sachit ने ये question पहले भी पूछा था, so we forgot to take it. So Aditya, back to Pakistan game, of course. So Pakistan has a weak lower middle order and weak tail enders. It might not be exposed in today's game. It might be a concern in the semis. How can they tackle this? So, what do you think could be the possible solution for this problem? Could they want? Would they be tempted to promote a few of the middle order players up the order to test them out in current situation, or would you like them to go with the same combination in this match?
Yeah, I feel some of the players will be rested for the Scotland game, and I don't think they will be testing and changing in this last moment against even again. I think if in the semis we are talking about New Zealand and India, they have defeated, so they were in no sense a weaker team. So in the semifinals too, they will be facing either England or Australia. So I don't see anything. I Yes, Pakistan's middle order is weak. We have Asif Ali showed glimpses of what he can do in and how he can finish the innings, but I don't see them changing in this Scotland game. I don't see them changing anything, and it will not be fruitful also, because that will give them false confidence against Scotland if they change, and if it works, I think that will be a, that would not be a correct judgment of the players caliber. Nothing to take away from Scotland, but that is the truth, that even if they change, that will give them more confusion than they already have. So I think they should stick with what they have. As I said, they have the middle order in in the sense Mohammad Hafiz and Shoaib Malik. If things don't go their way in the big score which they have earlier targeted, they can settle the storm down, and then Asif Ali, and then they can move things forward in the later stages. So yeah.
Exactly, yes. Ankit is saying Pakistan, Australia is going to be a game to watch. Still, it's not confirmed. I mean, anything can happen after. I mean, it would be confirmed after tonight's game, obviously. If Scotland wins, then Pakistan will be playing against England. So, but it looks likely that Pakistan, Australia is the second semi final, and first being England versus New Zealand, Afghanistan, or even India for that matter. So, आज रात के बाद, I mean, 99% of the semi finalists will be confirmed. So, we'll wait and see what happens. Will New Zealand look for replacing Conway and bring in Seifert? So, Himanshu, what do you make of this? So, even in the last New Zealand game preview, Ankit or someone else asked the same question about replacing Conway. So, do you think they will be making this move in a crunch game like this, or will they be going with the same level?
I don't think there is any need to change because see, I am a CSK fan, so I believe in set formula. There is no need to change anything unless it is dire circumstances, and these are not dire circumstances for New Zealand. They are the favorites. They are most likely to win today's game as well. So why to unnecessary make the changes? And also to for the previous question which Sai Sachit said that Pakistan has a lower weak middle order, but they have the experienced guys batting there, right? So since a CSK fan, I have known that this thing works because okay, it might misfire 2 times out of 10, but you think on the other side, out of 8 times it will work as well, right? So it's okay if they are a little bit weak, but the experience in crunch situation does put up a helping hand.
Yes, perfect. I mean, yes, experience does count, especially in the ICC events and semi-final, final की बात करें तो experience is the most essential thing if you talk about the formula for success. Sunny Thakur is saying if Afghanistan wins today, then we will win the World Cup. Yes, मतलब morale will be obviously high, and Team India is not a team that will be doing the same mistakes again and again. So if that happens, then I think I think India will be unstoppable, even if we face the prospect of England in the semi-final, because wo jo momentum rehta hai, that will be with India, and maybe that would be something. But it still looks unlikely. I mean, lots of pressure is there on Afghanistan to do something the miraculous. So we'll wait and see what happens. But cricket is a funny game. Anything can happen. Sai Sachit is saying, I really want to watch an Ashes final, England versus Australia in the T20 finals would be a menace. So Aditya, if I ask you, like, the dream final that you wish to see, the dream final plus a little bit of realistic one as well. So don't say that we want to see India Pakistan final, because realistically baat kare, then India is still not in the picture. But if I ask you about your dream final from the probables that we are seeing, the semi-final is probable, what do you wish to see?
Yeah, dream final. Considering how Pakistan have performed and considering the reputation that England had brought to this World Cup, I would love to see the game between Pakistan England, because that would be, a game where Pakistan will be tested, and England with their menace, all round menace, even without Archer and Stokes, I think they have been amazing. We have been critical of Ian Morgan right through the IPL, but he has shown how great a captain he is and how much he can dwindle, how much he can extract from these English players. So England versus Australia, we can we can in hindsight of the entire what do you say, the cricketing history of England Australia, you would want an England Australia game. But to be honest, England Australia, England will go in as clear favorites. I don't want to I say clear favorites because they have shown how much they can, how much they had dominated Australia in the group stage and the other games too. But yeah, Australia in ICC tournaments, they do turn up, but somehow here they did turn up, but it was just at the right moment they had got their act together. But Pakistan England, I would want to watch because them both of their skills will be tested big time, and Pakistan under pressure, how much they can handle, that will be really interesting to see. Yeah, and England a
Exactly,
chance to
yes.
win both the 50 over and 20 over World Cup. So
Yeah,
Michael
then
Vaughan
Owen
very
Morgan
happy.
will be the I think then Owen Morgan will be the only captain to be the
Yeah,
World Cup winners in both 50 overs and 20 overs. Maybe that would be a big thing. And he nearly won an IPL trophy as well, just a few weeks ago as well. So that would be a big achievement for Owen Morgan. And if this happens, Sachit, England versus Australia T20 final, then it will be a repeat of the 2010 T20 World Cup, which we Indian fans obviously like to forget. We don't want to consider 2009 and 2010 World Cup, जो भी हुआ था. बट ऑस्ट्रेलिया का वो डेविड हसी वर्सेस सईद अजमल वाला मैच, माइक हसी वर्सेस सईद अजमल वाला मैच था, that chase from Australia, maybe that could be repeated if this happens. So we'll wait and see. Can Kane break the code for New Zealand in the T20? With the last two World Cup, New Zealand have been in the top two. Can the streak continue in the shortest format? So, Himanshu, what do you make of New Zealand's chances in this World Cup? If they go on to win this match, do you see them in the finals? Do you see them beating a Jason Roy less England side in the semi-finals?
Of course, there are chances. I mean, New Zealand is a great team, and the thing that has it, Kane Williamson is a great captain. He's tactically very good, so that does give him a advantage on Ian Morgan. Ian Morgan is also a great captain, but I think Williamson is greater, and he is better in handling the troops, setting the traps as well. So I do see New Zealand getting in the final if they win, but it all
Okay.
hinges on today. And but I and it would be a great chance that most likely England versus New Zealand is going to be the semi-final, most likely, right?
Hmm.
So it would be a great repeat for 2019 World Cup finale, and Williamson would love a sweet revenge.
Yes. Talking about revenge, I mean, lots of revenge probabilities are there in the semi-final is probable, and some might say that even Pakistan versus New Zealand final could be a big game to watch, especially knowing what happened just few months ago with New Zealand canceling the tour at the last moment. So for for our friends beyond the border, maybe that is the arch rivalry final that they would want to see. So we'll wait and see what happens. But as always, last segment of today's show before we wrap up, it is time for our prediction segment for both the games. So let us do it simultaneously. Aditya, the big prediction time for you to start off with: New Zealand versus Afghanistan and of course Pakistan versus Scotland. So you can predict about Pakistan versus Scotland now, and then you can talk about New Zealand Afghanistan after that. So what are your prediction? Who do you think is going to win, and who will be the star player to watch out for?
Yeah, I think Mohammad Rizwan will. I think he will score once again, and Pakistan undoubtedly will come out on top. Talking about the Afghanistan and New Zealand game, quite honestly, uh, in all reality, I don't see this Afghanistan team. In if you look at it from a non-Indian perspective, I don't see this Afghanistan team going winning this game. So I feel, and my heart says that uh, someone from the top order, maybe Shehzad or maybe Zazai, scoring big. But I don't want to predict anything for this Afghanistan game. But because my heart says something and my mind says something, so let's stick with Rizwan and Pakistan doing well for now.
Yeah, accepted, accepted. I mean, we all don't want to predict about the second game. But Himanshu, if I ask you the same question, would you be confident to predict for both the matches, or would you be like your friend
Yes.
Aditya on the channel?
I have myself set funda that Pakistan is going to thrash Scotland, which is that is the expected thing, and Mohammad Rizwan to break Gale's record, and we hope to see that Scotland does put up a fight, because it will be great for the in general for the associate teams to put up a fight, and it's like a punch on ICC's face. Ki, okay, associate teams can play when there is need. And in the other game, New Zealand Afghanistan, it's simple. New Zealand is going to win. India will win tomorrow, but New Zealand is playing semi final against England. Simple. Done.
Okay, simple. Like you are so confident about that. Let me just end the prediction segment by just saying what was just said in the news. So Gautam Gambhir predicted New Zealand to win in today's game. So I'm not gonna say anything else. जिसको
And also,
समझना है वो समझ गया होगा.
this is the first time Afghanistan will meet New Zealand in a T20 international. First
Oh,
ever
Yeah, they have,
encounter.
and they
Yeah.
never played in a bilateral series as well, if I'm
No,
not
no,
wrong.
no, no, they
Beat
haven't.
any format. So they only met in ICC events. So,
ICC
and there
tournament.
was one I saw one Twitter post that the last time New Zealand played Afghanistan in a potential knockout, it was under 19 game, but Afghanistan actually thrashed New Zealand in that match. They scored 303, and New Zealand only managed to score 100 odd runs for that matter. So the under 19 kids managed to do the unthinkable against the New Zealand side. So can the seniors do it as well? We'll wait and see what happens. So lots of comments about Gautam Gambhir. So I'm sure that they have got what the reference was. So let's see what happens. Will the favorites be the favorites after the end of the day, or will Gautam Gambhir strike once again in a good way for Team India? We'll wait and see what happens. But thanks Aditya, thanks Imanshu for joining us, and it was great really hearing about you and your predictions for the game as well. We'll wait and see what happens. The first game for today will be starting at 3:30 p.m. onwards, and the second obviously 7:30 p.m. onwards. So unfortunately, guys, we can't do the watch along for the first one because of lack of manpower that we have on our channel. But अगर कुछ हो सकता था तो we would have definitely done it. But we'll be back with the watch along for tomorrow's game, India versus Namibia. Potentially could be the last India game in this World Cup if we are being realistic. So do join us for the watch along. Then we'll be seeing you directly at 12 p.m. tomorrow for the pre-match show between India versus Namibia. So do join us for that and enjoy the game, guys. And remember, let me before you wrap up, just want to finish off by displaying this comment from Amol. No matter what happens, do not abuse or do not be toxic for against the Afghanistan team or its players, because we have
yes.
to respect the fact that I know that ki matlab, changing our name, changing our DP, supporting the Afghanistan side, we tend to be a little more emotional, but let's face it, they are also there playing for their country, and we know what is happening in their country. So it is very important that we show them the support irrespective of whatever happens. So जो भी support अभी मिल रहा है, we should not be overboard and be toxic to this team. India Afghanistan has always managed to be in good relation. Yes, Himanshu.
And if New Zealand wins, shower praise to New Zealand guys, because they
Yeah.
have played well. And just don't be toxic to Afghanistan fans. Shower them praise as well. Just be positive. There is no need to be toxic and be negative about this thing. It's our mistake, so we have to cope up with that. Just be positive, spread kindness and love.
Exactly. Yes, we are here to cherish the game that we love, first of all. That is the only priority. So, no matter who wins or who loses, we are here to love and support the game that we love and the tournament that is currently going on. So, even for us being Indians, even if India misses out on the semi final, we will be there for the watch along and the pre match shows for the semis and the finals with same enthusiasm, because, firstly, we are all the sports lovers in this regard. So, don't worry about that. So, with that, we would like to conclude the show. Thanks everyone for joining us in the comment section as well, with your funny and humorous comments and lots of insightful questions about the game in hand as well. So, we'll be meeting you guys directly tomorrow, 12 p.m., for the pre match show. Hopefully, we see you in good numbers there as well. So, let's hope for a wonderful day of cricket. And as an Indian fan, thoda to optimism banta hai. So, hopefully, things go our way as well. But till then, I hope you all had a great day. This is Sanchit Desai, your host, signing off from the Third Man Cricket Show. See you, everyone. Take care.